We have one question right now. David, I'll throw it at you. It's by FSX Flyer 789. David, what do you have to say about channels like Yahya Snow and Muslim by Choice, who always seem to misrepresent the arguments? I think he's mainly talking about what we call the leech channels. So what do you have to say about the leech channels, David?
Yeah, well, you take some of these, I guess Muslim by Choice and Yahya Snow would be the main ones. But what they do is they'll, whether it's, you know, a talk by James White or a talk by us or a debate, they'll take something and then completely misrepresent the meaning and what was said and so on. And that's what they'll use to convince their followers. And on the one hand, you know, you look at this and you say, really, is this what Islamic apologetics is? It's just constant twisting and misrepresentation in order to try and get over on people, to try and trick people. But you know, again, on the one hand, you start thinking, well, that actually makes sense given their theology. But second, I don't think it actually hurts in the long run. Yeah, you can trick people. You can deceive people. You can misrepresent things, and you can get away with it for a while. But eventually, the people who are actually concerned with truth, they will eventually pick up on it, right? So, yeah, if you're just listening to, you know, Yahya Snow videos or Muslim by Choice videos, and you think, oh my goodness, is that what Christians are saying? Is that what James White said about this guy or that guy or something like that? That will work for a while. But if you are a more serious person, a more sincere person, and you actually happen to see what the person actually said one day, and then you see how it's being twisted by Muslim by Choice or Yahya Snow, then you start realizing, whoa, why am I even watching this channel? And why are the apologists I go to so horribly deceptive? And that's when you start realizing, whoa, maybe I need to look into things for myself and not just mindlessly follow what a random internet apologist says. So, yeah, it's bad. It's bad when you think let me put it this way. It's bad because people are actually deceived through that process, and we don't like deception. But in the long run, I don't think it will work as a long-term project for deceiving people, because people will hopefully eventually see their way out of that. And if they don't see their way past that, if they don't see their way out of that, I don't think they were very interested in truth to begin with. And to compare this with what happens in Ezekiel 23, where God is trying to give them the most graphic imagery they can imagine to show them what it's like to rebel against it. Because, I mean, you know, the Muslim response is, look, it's so awful to have this language. Well, think about this, Sam. From an Islamic perspective, what would be worse? A woman lusting after genitals as big as a donkey's, or the horrible sin of shirk, the rebelling against the Almighty who has rescued you? And then you turn to a false god. Which would be worse? Well, according to Islam, shirk would be worse, right? That would be worse, right? So either when God tries to give people a comparison, this would be like a woman having a husband and then going off and lusting after someone else, and so with lusting after someone's giant penis or something like this. And then Muslims say, look at that, it's disgusting. It's supposed to be disgusting. It's supposed to be the most disgusting imagery you can think of, because it's meant to illustrate what it's like to rebel against God and to go after false gods. Now, are Muslims saying, no, it's not really that bad? They've got to be saying one or two things there, right? They either have to be saying, no, it's actually not that bad. It's not so incredibly bad to go after false gods that you could actually compare it to the most disgusting thing you can have. It's not that bad. In which case, okay, then you've just undermined Islamic theology, which says it's the worst thing you can do. Or they're saying, yes, it is that bad. Yes, it would be so bad that it would be legitimate to compare it to something like that, but God just wouldn't say that. In which case, you're telling us that God won't tell you how bad and disgusting it is to rebel against him. right? So Allah in the Quran, he'll tell you to go subjugate people. He'll tell you to go kill people, tell you to go slaughter people, but he won't tell you, he won't describe how disgusting your sin actually is. And so
I said, this is the Holy Bible. Right? He says, this is the Holy Bible. I said, what do you call it? Ya Sheikh, what do you call this? What would you call it? Injil, yes. That's what they said. I said, what do you call it, you Sudanese? He said, Injil. I said, right. Now I said, now what you do? Come on, come on. First book of the Bible called Genesis. Open it. So they open. Everybody. Got it? Find chapter 19. Got it? He says, got it. I said, verse 30. Got it? He says, got it. I said, right. Read. So he reads 2 verses. I said, next one. Now read. Continue. That's Injil. You're getting horrified. Wallah. It is so easy to deal with the enemy. This book here, this is the Scud missile he's throwing at you, pushing it down your throat. You now reverse this, send it back to him. And I tell you, I gave them few references. Genesis chapter 19, verse 30 onwards. It speaks about Lut alayhi salam and his 2 daughters. Night after night they seduce the father and they have sex with the father and they beget bastard children from the father. Lut alayhi salam. Astaghfirullah. Chapter 35, verse 22. I say, open, see. Right, read it. Reuben, one of the sons of Yaqub alayhi salam, he go and cohabits with his mother on the roof. Genesis, still first book, don't go far, man. Chapter 38, read, verse 15 or so onwards. Judah, the father of the Jewish race, he goes and commits incest with his daughter-in-law by the roadside and begets bastard children from her. This is the Holy Bible. Not only that, but Allah Bari Ta'ala himself, what he does to Ibrahim's wife, Sarah. You want me to read it? You want to hear what Allah does to her? Listen. This is the Holy Bible I'm reading to you. You don't know, so therefore they push it down your throat. I want to arm our people. I said, look, man, once you know what this guy is offering you, you will know how to defend yourself. And that guy will run for life. He comes to your house, want to talk about the Bible. He says, what does the Quran say about the Yawm al-Qiyamah? Will it be established here or somewhere in the heavens? What does your Quran say? Look, bulk of us, we know nothing. Wallah, we know nothing. 1/3 of the Quran speaks about heaven, hell and hereafter. How many of us are equipped? Do you know where will this earth, the new world will be established? Where? Here or there in heaven? Where? What does the Quran say? I said, look, my brothers, don't enter into that. Admit it, that I don't know. Even me. I said, look, I don't know. If you want to know, go to Sheikh bin Baz or go to my Sheikh or Imam. He will tell you, I don't know. I'm ashamed. I'm a Muslim, I don't know. But I take it. You know your Bible. He's carrying it. I said, of course. No Christian coming with the Bible with him and say, no, he doesn't say, what the hell are you coming and asking me about the Quran? You don't know your own Bible, you want to talk to me about the Quran? He says, yes, of course. He said, can I have a look? Take the Bible, open Genesis chapter 19, verse 30, ask him to read it. And please explain to me what these daughters are doing to the father. Huh? Genesis chapter 35, verse 22. He said, look what the son is doing to his mother. Huh? What this father-in-law is doing to his daughter-in-law by the roadside. That guy will never darken your door. And he'll be so terrified of Muslims. Leave him alone. Let's look for a Hindu or a Buddhist. He'll never come to your door. So she said, what guarantee that I will give it? Suppose you enjoy and you go away and I don't see you again. What guarantee is this? What guarantee do you want? So it says your signet means your ring, and your bracelet means he had a bangle in his hand, and a staff, the danda, rod of Moses, asa. So the old man gave it to her, and he cohabited with his daughter-in-law by the roadside, and made her pregnant, and she bore twins, Fares and Zara. There's a long detail about it, long story. Very spicy reading. I didn't know at one time that all these things were in the Holy Bible. I was looking for the other books, called The Arabian Nights, the unexpurgated edition by Fitzgerald. And I got it and I read it, But I didn't know that for 2 and 6, 25 cents, I could have got the Bible and I could have got something more spicy than in the Arabian Nights. I didn't know that. You must know. You see? So 10 cases of incest in the book of God. Book of God, For what purpose is God telling you all this? That father and daughters, father-in-law and daughter-in-law, brother and sister, son and mother. For what reason? Why is he telling you all this? Now, the type of stories that you read naturally creates the type of mentality that you have. This is a foregone thing. If you eat junky foods, you become a junkie. If you read filthy, dirty stuff, your mind becomes filthy and dirty. And he says that. Who? Jimmy Swaggart. He's written a book on pornography and he's telling us that this acts like a drug. Pornography acts like a drug. He says you get addicted to it, just like a drug. Like alcohol, like drug, marijuana, you also get addicted to pornography. Addiction takes place. Then escalation takes place. Then desensitization. These are all his terms. I didn't know. He's made research. Desensitization takes place. And then number 4 is that you want to act out the role. What you are seeing, reading, you act it out. That is how pornography works. So, in this holy book, there is a beautiful chapter, the highest form of pornography that you can think of. In my country, my government banned extracts from the Bible. It's a very strong government, very Christian. Of course, it has this unjust policy of apartheid, but religiously, it's one of the most religious communities of the Christians in the world. Some of the things that I can buy here, your Playboy magazine and something else like that from Kennedy Airport or from Chicago. I land in South Africa and I go to jail for 2 years. That's how strict my government is. Very Christian-like in its morality, its ethics. Now, somebody had published a pamphlet with 9 extracts from the Holy Bible, without adding, without deleting anything. 9 extracts from the Holy Bible. And this was sent, somebody sent it to the publications board, and the publications board declared this undesirable, means banned. And there were 2 priests on the board when they banned this. But these poor priests, they didn't know that it was from their own holy book. They didn't know it. Can you imagine? Verses from the Bible, 9 extracts banned. My country, for one word, a 1 4-letter word, they had banned a book called Lady Chatterley's Lover. 1 word, 1 offensive word. For 20 years, the book was on the banned list. They have rebanned it. Now they're grown up now, more mature. They said, now I think the people are mature enough to read it. That 1 word. Here are 9 extracts which are undesirable. We say on the same basis, you should ban the Holy Bible. But of course, they live by it, they take an oath by it. So it's very, very difficult. But they have done the job. They've given it to us that this is undesirable. Pornography of the highest order. George Bernard Shaw, a British playwright, he says, the most dangerous book on earth. He said, keep it under lock and key. Your children must not have access to it. The Plain Truth magazine, the Armstrong family, here, American. They are printing 8,080,000 a month for free distribution. The Armstrong family, Plain Truth. They, in one of the magazines, they say that many a censor will give this Bible an X rating, cross. Many a censor. Book of God. Is it the book of God? I dare any Christian, I say, come forward and read it to your audience, to your congregation. Read it. No decent man can read it to his mother, his sister, his daughter, or even to his fiancée if she's a good woman. You can't read it. If God Almighty was not ashamed to reveal such filth and dirt, I'm asking, why should you be ashamed? Are you holier than God? Can you ever be holier than the Almighty? Can you be? That's what it means. If God spoke those things, wrote those things, dictated those things, which I dare not read it to you, because I know you will never forget. Even in 1,000 years, you'll remember, says, Uncle Didat was a filthy, dirty fellow. That old man came here, and what words he uttered, not realizing that, I was only reading from the holy book of the Christians. It's not my words. But you will not forgive me. I know you can't forgive me. Because you'll make an indelible impression on your mind. It's Uncle Didat's lips. You heard the words. Book of God, that you are ashamed to utter to your congregation. He says, no. So there are cases and cases, from his own writings, which we can prove that, look, this is not the book of God.